All names, photographs, and persons depicted on Fugitive Watch are presumed to be innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law.
Hello, welcome to the Fugitive Watch Podcast for November 16th, 2010. I'm Mark Hinch, and I'm here today with Scott Castrita and Steve Ferdine. Scott, how's it going?
Mark, it's going great.
Good to see you. And Steve, first time in the podcast studio. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to join you guys.
All right. This is the return of the Fugitive Watch Podcast. It's been about 6 months, but now we have a more permanent location and no more Skype. Right, Scott?
That's right. No more audio issues.
We still may use Skype from time to time, but we're all going to be here together. Hey, we got a lot of good stuff. This is a podcast which we highlights what's going on at fugitive.com and Fugitive Watch, our newspaper. And let's start off with in Vallejo. And Scott, what do you have going on for us?
What we got here going on Vallejo, Mark, is we got these three women suspects, we'll call them, and they walk. If you watch the video, you'll see them. They walk up to this elderly lady. She can hardly walk, and they grab her, they punch her, they drag her down to the ground, and they take her purse. Now, the thing about them is this is not their first time. I believe, Steve, you were telling me that you found at least four related stories that they've also hit a handicapped person as well, right?
Well, yeah, there's at least 3 other cases that the police department has tied them into, and at least one of them was of a handicapped lady.
Yeah, these girls definitely. We need to find them. We need to look. We need to really take the time. If you go to the website, watch the video, do it in slow motion. You'll actually see these girls punch her in the face and then just throw her down to the ground.
Absolutely appalling.
One of the shocking things for me was to see this was that as you see the lady come up, she could barely walk. She's barely getting by, and then this attack happens.
They're predators. Incredible. Just predators.
And Vallejo can use your help on that. So make sure you give us a call or send us a message if you have any info. All right, Steve, we're moving on to Fremont. What's going on in Fremont?
Well, Mark, in this case, the Fremont Police Department are trying to identify a suspect that was caught on surveillance camera using a credit card that was taken in an armed robbery. What happened is some armed men burst into the Lucky Hair Salon in North Fremont. They robbed the patrons, the employees of their purses, wallets, taking money, credit cards, etc. A few hours later, one of the suspects is captured on surveillance video using one of the stolen credit cards. It's very distinctive, good pictures. He's also tied to a getaway car, a silver Japanese 4-door sedan. Police describe him as possibly Polynesian, Tongan, or Samoan.
Okay. And that's, again, in Fremont, so if you have any info, let us know. Scott, moving on to San Jose.
That guy's a big guy, Steve. He's got to stand out.
Yeah, he's definitely going to stand out. Pretty scary-looking guy.
Hey, talking in San Jose, what we had was one of those cannabis dispensary clubs. These guys go up to it. It's on Monterey Road. They knock on the door, pose like they're customers. They burst. The one guy comes in, and you'll see him immediately. He pulls out a gun. He brings in another guy. Now, this guy, he's pretty much covered up, but has some distinctive clothing. The first guy that came in with the gun, we have great pictures. We have good video of him. They take these guys, they put them down on the ground in the back room as they rob them. And at one point, you'll see the guy just take the gun and just screw it right into the guy's ear. Pretty scary stuff. And we're hoping somebody out there recognizes him. And Steve and I were discussing, we're thinking the guy covered up may be local, but the other guy, he doesn't seem to really care that we see him.
Yeah, that's pretty, it looks like he's probably from out of the area since he doesn't want to cover up his face. Doesn't look like he's really worried about getting identified.
Almost look proud of it, huh?
Yeah.
So in this case, viewers, you may want to send this to relatives maybe, in the Central Valley further down, or L.A. maybe?
Yeah, this guy possibly is from Southern California.
Okay. All right. All right, next we're moving to Tracy. Steve.
Yeah, in this case, the Tracy Police Department is trying to identify 7 men who were involved in a tragic shooting of a 17-year-old boy in a liquor store near Freeway I-5. They got good pictures of these suspects. We're thinking that possibly they're from Central California or Southern California because of the proximity to the freeway and the fact that they can't get any leads from the Tracy folks.
That's pretty senseless. What the 17-year-old boy? What's his condition?
He's going to be paralyzed. That's a really tragic shooting.
Wow.
The same thing if this guys are probably out of the area. Can't imagine anyone Tracy doing this a crime this brutal clearly on videotape. So you may want to forward this to someone down south if you can help us on this. Help the Tracy PD. Okay, well let's take a look at something that we posted back on Fugitive Watch back in May, and this is a story maybe you remember of Ola Mae. And if you remember Ola Mae, here's her picture. She is an 87-year-old woman in Pensacola, Florida. And Granny, she looks like your granny, right?
Yeah, Granny.
Yeah, just a typical looking grandmother that you'd be getting cookies from.
Brownies.
Okay, well,
brownies.
Careful what kind of sugar she's using.
Yeah.
Granny's not passing cookies. Granny's selling crack. And we have the video on fugitive.com shows the back in May a undercover deputy goes to buy and purchases crack cocaine from her. A surveillance video shows Granny pulling the drugs from her couch and selling it to the undercover deputy. Oddly enough, this is not the first time Granny has been caught selling drugs. In 1996, she pled no contest to a possession with intent to sell charge. In 1999, at age 76, she was arrested twice more for the same. This time a jury convicted her and she was sentenced to 18 months in jail, which at this point I think is where she belongs.
Yeah, and at that age, 18 months is a long time.
Yeah. What a crying shame.
All right, Granny. Well, hopefully Granny got the message and maybe she'll get out. Maybe everything will go okay. Yeah. Hey, how's Facebook doing, Scott?
Facebook's doing great. Since we started it, we got a lot of people calling us up, asking us if we'd put up a Facebook page, so we did it. And a lot of people have come joined us.
1,300 members?
Over
people?
1,400, yeah.
Wow.
And we post interesting stories up there every day. We only put a couple up there because we don't want to annoy people. We just put a few up there. And when we have a hot crook, somebody that needs to get caught right away, we stick them up there. And we've also started doing the Twitter. And
The Twitter.
Okay. All right. So we're also doing, let me get this right. We're also doing Twitter. Okay. And so I'm not going to use all those other words I use because it just, I don't know. It just doesn't sit with me well.
Like the word tweet?
No. So anyway, we do put the crooks on there, especially Amber Alert type stuff goes up there, as well as anything that's hot that's happening in the Bay Area, especially. So,
okay. And then the newspaper, Steve.
The newspaper is doing really well. We're putting out thousands of copies, and we've actually got 2 good captures recently as a result of the newspaper. One child molester and one homicide suspect. So it's doing really, really well.
Okay. And to get a hold of us, you can call the hotline at 1-800-9CAUGHT. You can also text us at 1-408-355-099. Steve, they can also do their email. They can email you, and some people leave comments in the comment area, but those don't get made public, right?
No, they can either email us at tips@fugitive.com, or you can put a tip in the comment section. And we review all comments before they get actually posted, so we can intercept any tips on the comment section.
Yeah, okay. Right. When you go to the website and you look up at the top bar, it says give a tip. That's the best place to put it right there. We get it immediately, and we take care of business.
Okay, great. Well, that's about it for this week. We appreciate your help. You can contact us through the website or 1-800-9CAUGHT. Scott and Steve, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
We'll be back again next week. Once again, I'm Mark Hinch for Scott and Steve. Thank you, and be safe.